Hey, what's going on, guys? It's No Shoes, and we're back with another one. Today, we're going to be reacting to The Mystery from Rakim, that's suggested by Buffalo Soldier, not Buffalo Soldier, just to be completely clear. I can't imagine that's the name you wanted, my boy, but if you did, good on you. Without any further ado, let's get right into this. Let's see what The Mystery is all about. Let's see what Rakim has to say. Let's get it.
If you can see if you can solve the mystery, the answer revolves around your history. So carefully, I drop this degree, scientifically and realistically. If you can see if you can solve the mystery, the answer revolves around your history. So carefully, I drop this degree, scientifically and realistically.
Great. Nice start to this track. Seems like we're starting off with the hook. Great compound rhymes coming in. Mystery, history, scientifically, really breaking it apart there. Nice sound to the instrumental. We got some nice strings coming over the top, a little piano giving us some punctuation, drums, classic sound, nothing too crazy going on there. Let's see where it'll take us.
And realistically. In eternal blackness, in the midst of the darkest night, proteins and minerals exist within specks of light. Solids, liquids, and gases, and sparks of light within infinite lengths and widths and depths and heights, no beginning or ending.
Sounds kind of like he's touching a little bit on kind of like the cliche Instagram quote of like, you're made of stardust. Everything traveled through the universe and is now in you. But there is some truth behind that, right? We all come from the world, we're all created from it. Whether you believe in God or whatever it is, there's something tethering us to this plane, right? And it's interesting, those like compounds, those minerals and everything that we share in common with even the rocks and the stars and whatever else it might be.
Proteins and minerals exist within specks of light. Solids, liquids, and gases, and sparks of light within infinite lengths and widths and depths and heights, no beginning or ending. With 7 dimensions, enough space for more than 1,000,000 worlds and inventions to travel through time, with enough room to be the wound of the Most High's great mind, which He would soon make shine. With intelligent elements, insight that He would gather in the realms of relative.
I really like the feel of the verse. It's got a great sound to it, great delivery, really nice movement of energy throughout it. The layering, though, and I know some of y'all are gonna go crying to your mom after this. Oh, No Shoe does it like a Rakim song. Um, the layering on it, it's just a little messy. Like the punches that it's hitting underneath of, there's like slight, I'm gonna call it mistiming. Maybe it was on purpose that it slightly shifted, but there's like a slight delay in this slightly like wider reverb that almost kind of takes away from the punch, at least to my ear, because the punch isn't as clear and defined, and it almost like washes it out just slightly where those layers start to interact with each other. And I think if you guys pay attention, you'll hear it too.
Insight that He would gather in the realms of relativity. Electricity struck matter, energies explode, He would load and keep releasing atoms by the millions till the numbers increase until it was burning. He kept returning Himself to the source. The hotter His thoughts, it gave the center more force. He gave birth to the sun, which would follow His laws, all caused by His mental intercourse. Who is God? If you can see, if you can solve the mystery.
Much cleaner with the layering at the end of that verse. In fact, I really didn't notice much of it at all. So maybe it was just like those two or three little blips right there. And, maybe that's just little tiny thing. I'm nitpicking, who knows? But really nice delivery, like the transitions. It's well paced out, much slower, I feel like, than some of the other tracks we've heard from Rakim. I mean, thinking of like Lyrics of Fury and stuff like that. There's really like a heavy push coming from him against the beat. Right now, he's much more just like riding along the beat and following its pace than kind of driving it himself.
Caused by his mental intercourse. Who is God? If you can see, if you can solve the mystery, the answer revolves around your history. So carefully, I drop this degree, scientifically and realistically. Let's go. He began to explain his craft, the master in the
Great touch with the scratching. It's interesting how that affects like the movement of energy through the track because the scratching almost serves as like a post hook or like a bridge between the hook and the verse in some way. Definitely a lower energy track, like I was saying with the flow, and even the beat is kind of paced out as well. It's a more of like a walking type of pace, maybe even a little bit slower than that. So it works well, but I think we do lose a little bit of speed and a little bit of that momentum in those scratching sections because it is pulled back in the speed just overall as a whole song. And I'd be very curious, by the way. I know Eric B worked with Rakim on the Eric B and Rakim stuff, as the name might indicate. I have no idea who he worked with as a producer on this track, if he did any of the production himself. I'd be very curious. If y'all can let me know, I'd love to find out more.
He began to explain his craft, the master in the attic. He dealt with measurements, his language was mathematics. His theoretical wisdom of the numerical system. The complete number 9, which means born or existent. He gave birth to all planets, inorganic and organic. So you wouldn't take it for granted. They rotate at their own distance around the sun and fully submit to the existence of one. And each one was promised everlasting perfection. If each one keeps spinning in the same direction to the east, and each speak the motion of peace and harmony, and each show devotion to teach the universe is to come. The whole world must.
Yeah, and we're very much at like a cosmic scale in this track, talking about the sun, the universe, the building blocks of the world and life itself, kind of, I guess at that point trying to address the who is God question. What is God? Does God exist? Is God dead and did we kill him? I don't know. Maybe. If you look at the internet these days, it kind of seems like that's the case. But really great delivery, a lot of great complex rhymes in here, compound rhymes. Just wonderful. Isn't it fun? Complex and compound both start with comp, right?
To the existence of one, and each one was promised everlasting perfection. If each one keeps spinning in the same direction to the east, and each speak the motion of peace and harmony, and each show devotion to teach the universe is to come. The whole world must go according. Oh, your galaxies are mirage, your stars start falling. So stay in your orbit, maintain safe and sound like the planets. Your cycle remains perfectly round. If you can see, if you can solve the mystery, the answer revolves.
And it's interesting. It seems like he's really trying to relate like the universe back to the human being here. If we come back right to the end of this verse.
Galaxies are mirage, your stars start falling. So stay in your orbit, maintain safe and sound like the planets. Your cycle remains perfectly round. If you can.
Yeah. Basically saying like you have an orbit like a planet, your orbit remains perfectly round. It's very interesting that like linkage he's drawing as if there's like no difference between a human being and a planet, or obviously it's a metaphor and there's layers there and it's not that literal, but the comparison, or I can't think of the other word for that. If y'all know the opposite word for comparison, let me know in the comments down below. I'm having a brain fart.
See if you can solve the mystery. The answer revolves around your history. So carefully, I drop this degree, scientifically and realistically. Let's go.
Yeah. These small instrumental sections, like overall, I really enjoy the track. And I think listening to it in the context of just like throwing it on and letting it play, this wouldn't be an issue, but when you really start to like try to boil it down and listen, these tiny like little instrumental breaks are nice, but it feels like they last like a bar too long in a couple play where whenever they come back in, cuz like right here, let's bring it back and let me kind of like point out to you what I think would make more sense and maybe you'll be able to see it. And I want to get it right like at the end of the verse so we can really feel that time or the end of the hook.
Read so carefully. I drop this degree scientifically and realistically.
Oh, and that I feel like that's where he should hop back in. That would just make so much more sense to my ear. It would line up with the punch of that first hi-hat and kick coming in, and that would just feel so tight and cohesive. Whereas then you kind of let the sample play out a little bit more, and like I said, we just start to lose that momentum. Not that this track is fast, not that it's like trying to be like crazy and wild and really push, but you could still maintain the momentum a little bit more while not it wouldn't affect the overall speed and pacing of the track to start a bar earlier is really what I'm getting at here.
From unconsciousness to consciousness, by knowledge and his wisdom, his response is this. Understanding, which is the best part. He picked the third planet where new forms of life will start. He pursued, show and prove every move in order. Back to the source, he let off his resources in the water. Climb his climax where the climate is at high degrees. Seas start to breathe deep in the darkest seas. And the plan is to lay in the cleaves that form land.
Some really fun, it feels like maybe consonants or alliteration coming into play here and there throughout his flow, especially the way he breaks the bar line in certain plays and just kind of connects through the bars for multiple in a row. That really adds a lot of push and it's really satisfying to listen to the way his vocal fits into the pocket. I mean, it's dialed in. And that's, and again, I want to reiterate, I'm not here hating on Rakim. I like Rakim. This is a cool song. But if we're here to be honest and actually talk about music and not just suck people off, let's have a real conversation, right?
Climax where the climate is at high degrees. Seas start to breathe deep in the darkest seas. And the plan is to lay in the cleaves that form land and expand, using the same cleaves to born man in his own image. Our origin begins in the east. Culture rise to free with the powers of peace. Dealing equality, nature's policy is to be God. Build and destroy positively, born life like a law. And each one was given everlasting perfection. If each one keep living in the same direction, and life was life. And love was love. We win.
And there's like some small moments of repetition in his verses that are really satisfying because he'll like slightly evolve a bar and have it back to back. So then you really can see that it's almost like the dichotomy of it or like the duality of it, like the two ways you could take a phrase and then change the final meaning of it with that last word. It works really well.
Life was life, and love was love. We went according by the laws of the worlds above. It showed us physically we can reach infinity, but mentally, through the century, we lost our identity. Life started ending, we got trife and started sinning. Lost touch with the beginning, now cipher stopped spinning. And what was once easy became confused and hard, which brings us back to the mystic question, who is God? 66 trillion years since his face was shown. When the seventh angel appears, the mystery will be known. Check Revelations and Genesis, say Luke and John. It even tells us we are gods in the Holy Quran. Wisdom, strength, and beauty, one of the meanings of God. G-O-D, you and me, Goma, R's, Dubar. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, sun, moon, and star. Man, woman, and child. And so is the law. If you can see, if you can solve the mystery.
Bringing it back to Allah. And what is it? I feel so bad because I'm always terrible about it. Like either it's Islam, the Muslim faith, but bring it back to that, bring it back to the family unit, things of that nature, getting a little bit of his values in here as well. Very, very cool track. I love the idea of this. I mean, relating the universe back to the human and everything like that. It's very interesting. There's a lot of depth here and a lot of great rhymes.
You and me, Doma, R's, Duval. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, sun, moon, and star. Man, woman, and child. And so is the law. If you can see if you can solve the mystery, the answer revolves around your history. So carefully, I drop this degree, scientifically and realistically. If you can see if you can solve the mystery, the answer revolves around your history. So carefully, I drop this degree, scientifically and realistically. Bear witness to the law gave birth to all, for Allah was all, and therefore life itself. And the universe gave birth to man. The universe was man, and man was the universe. And the universe was always existed, and existence was life, and life was a
Cool. I like where he's going with this. We're gonna bring it back to the beginning of this little section here. But yeah, really nice hook, verse. Really just pretty familiar structure. Those little bridges, they're interesting. Think they could have been done a little bit better. And just by being shorter, honestly, the little bridges between the hook and the verse just didn't need to be that long. It really didn't serve any musical purpose or really it really took away from any impact that maybe it was supposed to add, at least for me. But nice choice here to do like a conversational outro, really kind of like stuffing his words together, be like, well, this and that is this and da 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 is always kind of a fun way to take things and permutate them. So let's finish this out.
life itself. And the universe gave birth to man. The universe was man, and man was a universe. And the universe was always existed, and existence was life, and life was a law. And the law had no beginning because he is what always was. Rakim Allah. Peace.
Okay.
Now who is God?
And let me ask you, who do you think is God? Nah, it's all good. You do not have to answer that question. But really cool track, man. I like it. Great vibe. It's fun. Like I said, the little things that I was nitpicking on, I probably wouldn't notice them if I was just throwing on the track to listen. But what do? We actually come here to listen deeper and really get a good feel for the song. Definitely gonna be listening to this some more. I'd love to check out some more Rakim on the channel. Unfortunately, I forgot who suggested this because Rakim had so much to say. But thank you for the suggestion nonetheless. Please keep them coming in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to see more videos like this. Much love to everybody in the No Shoes gang, and I will see you all next time.